Good evening and welcome to the Family and Child Abuse Prevention Center's virtual fundraiser, Unmute the Abuse and Unmask the Violence. I'm Sasha Brave, 13 ABC, and I will be your MC for this evening. The Family and Child Abuse Prevention Center has been serving children and families in Lucas, Wood, and Ottawa counties now for over 47 years. And in these unprecedented times, it is more important than ever that we do not forget or leave out the most precious and most vulnerable children and families in our communities. The theme of this fundraiser speaks to the fact that we cannot be silent, we cannot turn a deaf ear, we cannot harden our hearts when we hear their cries for help. Well, necessity is the mother of invention. So to that end, the FCAPC staff members thought outside of the box to set a fundraising goal that will ensure they are able to continue and expand the services that are provided to these children and families free of charge. Because of the constraints placed upon us by COVID-19, this evening, they are hosting this virtual event and asking each of you to participate by bidding in a virtual auction. The staff has prepared beautiful, unique, and really fun baskets on which you will bid online. You'll see everything from relaxation baskets to chocolate lovers baskets, sports gear and sporting paraphernalia, tickets to the trampoline parks, gift cards, and even a gourmet 5-course, 5-star dinner for 4 prepared by a local chef and his wife and delivered right to your home, plus much, much more. Now, in order to bid on these silent auction items, you have to follow these steps. You must register by going to fcapc.org, click on upcoming events. Then click on register for event and complete the registration demographic information. Add your credit or debit card info for bidding, and don't worry, this is a secure website. Click submit registration and you will receive a personal PIN via text message. So you just enter that PIN, you click sign in, and you can begin bidding or donating. And please remember to go back to the website to check the progress of your bid. Bidding will be active through Monday, that's December 14th at 4 p.m. You will be notified by email or phone call on Tuesday the 15th. If you win, you can also contact the center for that information. Now, while you're doing that, let me introduce you to the Chief Executive Officer and my friend, whom I admire so much, Dr. Christy Jenkins, who will provide us with some background and history on the Family and Child Abuse Prevention Center.
Fundraiser. I am Dr. Christy Jenkins, CEO of the FCAPC. Due to COVID restrictions, we have been unable to hold any fundraisers for almost an entire year. So tonight we are bringing you silent auction items, 50/50 raffle, and buy it now Jan Pugh vases customized for our events. You can also simply donate to us as well if you'd rather do that. So for over 47 years, FCAPC has been serving this community and working to end family violence. We are the only agency in Northwest Ohio whose sole mission is to treat the entire family, from batterer to survivor to child to non-offending caregiver. Each year, we are able to reach 50,000 people with our services. Let's check out the wonderful services we offer by getting a glimpse into our programming by watching the following videos.
The mission of the Family and Child Abuse Prevention Center is to intervene and educate to reduce family violence. However, that's a piece of what we do. What our vision is and what we accomplish is to be the sole agency in this area completely dedicated to the issue of family violence. So that comes from our prevention perspective, where we don't even want to see these cases later on, and our intervention perspective, we're already here. How do we fix this?
It is very important to us at the agency to be non-judgmental and show compassion to all of our clients. They might be afraid coming in, might not know what to expect, but we will make them feel at ease. We are very committed to helping these clients move through their journey, whatever it might be, and to help them get a new start and to help them move forward with their life. Our programs work very well together. Many clients are involved in more than one of our programs. The parenting program is a 12-week program that helps parents improve their parenting skills, helps them improve their relationship with their child, helps them learn how to use positive discipline, and give their children the tools that they need to be successful adults. I also work with domestic violence victims in the Survivor to Thriver program. This program helps abuse victims on their journey from victim to survivor to thriver. We work on skills that the women need to become more independent, to overcome the abuse that they suffered, and to get their lives back on track. A lot of them have children, and so they also need help. That's why this works very well in conjunction with the parenting program that I do.
Early intervention is a no-cost program that's offered to any child in Ohio ages birth to 3 with developmental delays or risk factors for delays. So at Family and Child Abuse Prevention Center, we have service coordinators or caseworkers. So what we do is we make the initial contact with the family. We ask them what their concerns are for their child. We help schedule a developmental evaluation to determine where and if there are areas of delay. And we also help write the case plan, which is the individualized family service plan. We link them with home visiting services through the Board of Developmental Disabilities. If needed, we can help find resources to cover the cost of private occupational, physical, and speech therapy. And then at the end of our services, close to age 3, we help transition them to school-age services if needed.
The Child Abuse Prevention Program is a personal safety program that we implement across the school systems in Lucas County and other counties. It teaches kids about things like unsafe touches, safe touches, support systems, self-esteem building concepts, to identify emotions, and it gives them all the skills that they need to help protect them as well as other people they know. The Children Who Witness Violence program, I run a support group. We target about 3 to 6-year-olds for that, but also we have sessions for older children. We have individual trauma therapy as well as the group setting. And in Children Who Witness Violence, we teach them assault prevention skills, anti-violence skills, emotional management and coping skills, and it helps them improve their social life.
I work here at the Family and Child Abuse Prevention Center as one of the co-facilitators in our Batterers Intervention Program, also known as BIP. Goals of the Batterers Intervention Program are to recognize and describe how gentlemen have been harmful towards their partner and their family, understand how this harm that they're inflicting causes problems for those that are being affected. By helping them, we're also helping those that they interact with on a daily basis, not only their partners, but their children as well. A lot of these exercises and techniques that they learn can be applied to areas outside of their relationship.
So one of the things that makes our agency unique is the fact that I provide therapy services as well as medication management. You don't see that very often, and it really allows me to get a very complete picture over time of children, adolescents, and adults, victims of domestic violence or abuse. Oftentimes we'll have depression, anxiety, PTSD, among other diagnoses. Mental health is just as important as physical health. And sometimes we have mental health issues that aren't able to be easily seen by others. So it's important to go ahead and get that checkup. There's absolutely nothing wrong with coming in and being able to talk to a professional and find out if therapy or medications might be helpful in their daily life.
I think we have a really special team here that has the biggest heart and are non-judgmental and very accepting of the clients that we see in the office. It's really a comfortable place that people can come and, during probably one of the hardest times of their lives, get the help that they need and really change their life.
I have seen many clients successfully complete our programs. And it is amazing to see the changes that they have made, helping these clients move through their journey, whatever it might be, and to help them get a new start. It's very powerful, and it impacts them greatly to be able to be free of abuse and free of some of the things that were holding them back in their life.
My happy ending today is I actually have written a lot of things as part of my healing. We've actually gotten an opportunity to move. I'm actually finishing up school and I have a job position ready. My children are a lot happier. My daughter's doing better in school. She almost got straight A's. My son's doing better in school. It's just a place of peace now that is overwhelming and just great. And it's all thanks to the agency, Miss Augustine and Miss Vanessa. So thank you guys so much.
Thank you, Christy. All right, we just want to take a moment to remind our friends who perhaps are just now signing in order to bid on the silent auction items, you must register by going to fcapc.org. You click on upcoming events and then click on register for event and complete that registration info. Add your credit or debit card information on this secure site in order to bid. Then you click submit registration and you will get a personal PIN via text. You enter that PIN, you click sign in, and you can begin bidding or donating. And remember, you want to keep going back to the website to check the progress of your bid, and bidding will be active through Monday at 4 o'clock. So make sure you continue to go back and check so the perfect gift does not get away from you. All right. Now we are at the part of this event which gets right to the heart of why the work of the Family and Child Abuse Prevention Center is life-saving and life-changing. Let's hear from some clients who have received services.
I became involved with the agency because I was in a domestic violence situation for the first time ever, and I had no idea where to go, what to do. The court system was very confusing and intimidating, and it was a really scary situation. The agency really helped out with a lot, made me a little bit more knowledgeable, and the things that they offer was definitely helpful. Miss Augustine was one of the people who helped in the agency. She definitely let me know that she cared, and that was really big with me. She pointed me to a lot of resources in the community that I could access as far as helping me move to a safer location, even finding out where I could get access to extra education to find employment, help with the children, counseling, to basically help us heal and get back on our feet. The type of abuse that I dealt with, I was actually in a marriage, and I had no clue how to get out of it. It was the first marriage ever. I dealt with financial abuse, verbal, physical, emotional, and honestly, I had no idea I was being abused until it got to physical. And that was scary because not only was I involved in it, but my children were involved in it as well. But I didn't really understand or see or know what was going on until I was educated. The abuse started in my relationship actually before I agreed to marry him. It was kind of a forced situation, and with me being a single mom, he presented the table as though everything I needed and wanted I had, and that was a form of pulling me in. Once I was in, the abuse got worse. And now I was stuck in a marriage, and it wasn't much. Well, at that time, I thought it wasn't much I could do. I was stuck. I finally got out of the relationship thanks to a lady named Vanessa and Miss Augustine. Again, they provided services to help me not only obtain knowledge to how to get out of a marriage, but they also sent me to different places that would help pay to get the divorce finalized, and help and counseling for the children and things like that. And that really helped out a lot because I was completely clueless to how to get all that taken care of. They help with the court situation by not only giving me knowledge of what to do and what not to do, giving me advice, kind of really guiding me to the people to talk to. They went to court with me, and in the beginning, I was kind of terrified of the individual, so they made sure that we didn't cross paths. They made sure that I was protected when we did go to court. They provided a listening ear. If I was overwhelmed with a lot of things, they explained, different terminology that I didn't know. It was very helpful. I felt very comforted and safe. My happy ending today is I actually have written a lot of things as part of my healing. We've actually gotten an opportunity to move. I'm actually finishing up school, and I have a job position ready. My children are a lot happier. My daughter's doing better in school. She almost got straight A's. My son's doing better in school. It's just a place of peace now that is overwhelming and just great. And it's all thanks to the agency, Miss Augustine and Miss Vanessa. So thank you guys so much.
In 2018, I had something that happened that brought Children's Services into my life, and they led me here to some services that would help me get past some incidents from my past, and then also to help me with some parenting skills to help my kids return home. Some of the issues that I was experiencing that led me here were relationship issues, being a victim of domestic violence in multiple relationships, being a parent of a child that survived sexual abuse, and being a single mom. The agency led me here to a group called Survivors to Thrivers, and it focuses on being a victim of domestic violence. And it really pinpoints certain things that we should look for in a spouse or significant other when it comes to a relationship to avoid the violence and issues, that put us in a position like that. And I feel like the program it really benefited me. It was a great program, and I really enjoyed being in it. So I was referred to a group called Non-Offending Caregivers, which is a program for parents who have children that dealt with sexual abuse and situations such as. And then I was also referred to an ongoing parenting group. Those two programs helped me in areas such as, like with the non-offending parents, I had a hard time dealing with just the thought of what happened to my child. And it's taken a long time to get used to the idea that this happened. And it just kind of helped me be able to adjust mentally so that I can move forward and try to work through it with her when she returns home, so that just our whole family can move forward and move past the incident. The parenting program helped me a lot in ways such as things I learned, like discipline. I've always had my own method of discipline with my kids, and it just kind of showed me other different ways that I can do it instead of always feeling like I'm the bad guy. And like different methods with, pertaining to like whatever it is that they do, such as, they carry out one act, discipline them accordingly to what that is, and we've worked on that over the last couple months here, and it's actually been successful with the children. So I feel like that's working. I also learned how to deal with my own stress to help avoid any, I guess you would say, taking my issues out on my children in such a sense. And I really haven't had to deal with that too much yet, with the children not being home full time, but we actually putting all this stuff into practice with them is so far been successful. And I feel like the program has helped me immensely in that sense. When I first came to the agency here, I started working with Katerina, and then she passed me on to Joanne Carson, who actually ran all 3 of my groups. And she was absolutely amazing. The children loved her. So she really helped me understand a lot of things, and was very hands-on. And I really enjoyed working with her. So my happy ending is that on November 15th, my children will be returning home. So, it's this programs that I've been going through here is actually what led me to be able to get custody back of my kids. And I honestly couldn't be any more thankful than that. I just needed time and ways to focus on myself and better certain things about myself that I never really had the chance to do before, being a single parent. And with going through this time with my children away and being able to go through these groups that I really needed, it's really helped immensely. So my children are coming home and we're ready to move forward.
My story with early intervention is different than most. I actually walked in for a job interview, learned a lot about the program, went through my training, and then through working with kiddos, thought, well, wait a minute, my daughter is really similar to these kiddos I'm working with. I talked to my boss to see if that would be a conflict of interest, and then I made the referral. Because at the time, she was 16 months old. She wasn't walking. And working with kiddos, I realized, like, wait a minute, this is a huge red flag. Like, we got to get her involved. So my daughter, Amelia, has a diagnosis of sensory processing disorder. It was actually involved with early intervention starting at 16 months. We knew that things were a little off with her. She was born prematurely. She was a tiny little 5-pound preemie. She was in the NICU for 9 days, and pretty much immediately after discharge, we noticed that things were a little bit off with her. She really needed to be rocked so severely that we were scared that we were going to hurt her, and things just kind of progressed from there. So early intervention helped her. My coworker, Kristen, was actually her service coordinator and worked with us. Kristen helped facilitate our evaluation. I learned a lot about sensory processing through that evaluation because I didn't really know what it was. And they explained to me that Mia just feels things more than other kids do, if that makes sense. Like, for her, touching textures for us seems like no big deal, but for her, it's just so intensified. It helped link her with physical and occupational therapy that she is still in. It helped us find funding when that became too expensive for us because we were going weekly. When Mia had trouble with her peers and was having these awful temper tantrums, Kristen was my shoulder to cry on when Mia got kicked out of swim classes, when we got kicked out of play groups, it was just one thing after another. And she was really my support person. When Mia was 90 days from her 3rd birthday, Kristen facilitated the meeting with Toledo Public Schools to get Mia's IEP in place. And what that looked like was we had the transition meeting where they did an evaluation. And this was probably the hardest part of our whole journey with early intervention because Mia had made so much progress that I was really hoping that we would just hear, like, she's great, she's fantastic, you're done. But she did qualify for school age services. But that has been the biggest blessing, I would think, And that's where she's really blossomed was, we got her into school-based services, and she really has made a complete 180 from that 16-month-old that wouldn't even let children near her. Now she has friends. One of the things that early intervention has had the lasting impact is that we've used the skills that Kristen and our home visitor taught us into beyond age 3. So like when COVID happened and Mia's behaviors came back, we noticed a lot of rocking again. We noticed that after her brother was born, she couldn't handle his crying and she was hitting herself, which was really hard as a parent to watch her struggle like that. But we had those skills. We knew that when she's rocking, redirect her outside and put her on her swing set and swing her so she can get that same sort of input. When she was hitting herself, we focused on deep breathing. We got out her heavy, like her weighted blanket and her pressure vest to kind of center her. We used those skills a year later, and they still have long impact with us.
This agency helped me and my family in a huge way. I was so intimidated by the court system, and it's hard coming out of an abusive situation. I was in mine for 15 years. I have 5 children. Feeling like I had somebody there for me that thought I was important, that cared about me and my children. It was wonderful. It's helped me get on track with the rest of my life. I've started school. I'm getting a job. My children are in school, and everything is turning out great.
And once more, we want to walk you through the steps to register in order to bid on the silent auction items this evening. You want to go to fcapc.org. Click on upcoming events and click on register for event. Finish out that registration information, add your credit and debit card info, and click submit registration. That is when you get that personal PIN via text, which you will then enter and hit sign in. And now you can begin bidding. Again, the window is open through Monday at 4 p.m. And there are also other ways that you can donate to support this wonderfully important agency in the toughest of times. Be sure to follow FCAPC on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter to stay up to date on their services, events, podcasts, and other information. Now I will turn it back over to Dr. Jenkins.
So when we were putting this together, there were 2 clients who declined to be filmed, but would like for you to hear their stories. And so I'm going to go ahead and read those stories for you. Here's the first one. Our daughter is very creative soul. Her way to tell us about what happened was a video that was short, but very moving and emotional. We were very upset, to say the least. Feelings of disbelief that this had happened. Anger, frustration, feeling of how could we have not known something very sinister was happening under our very nose. Feelings of what could have been done differently or even prevented this from occurring. We immediately started to look for help for her and for us, as this was too big for any of us to deal with on our own. We are incredibly thankful to have found this amazing group of people at the Children's Advocacy Center. They have been an incredible resource of information that has been very helpful. They have given us tools to help her and us to navigate through our feelings and what we should or can do to deal with all of this heavy stuff. We were even able to help another friend that has been going through a similar situation for longer than we have. They found tools that they hadn't thought of until now. We still have a long road ahead, but now we have information, tools, and resources to help us along. We would be lost, blaming ourselves, and more than likely emotionally unstable without this amazing group of people. We are very thankful for all they do. We can't thank them enough. And the second testimonial, when you come to the Children's Advocacy Center and you receive the trauma-focused cognitive behavioral therapy, you go through 12 to 15 sessions here. And at the end of it, you're able to write a trauma narrative. And what happens with these children is, and what research will show you, the greatest indicator of how well a child will do after being abused is the parental response to the abuse. And so it's really important that you have someone who is a non-offending caregiver who is very supportive. And so when we have that within a family, the child is able to share their trauma narrative with them. And it's very powerful, empowering, and they feel like that they've really healed from the trauma that they've been through. And so what I'm about to read to you is the end or the trauma narrative that someone wrote and wanted to share with you all today. And it's from one of our child survivors. And after years of being brutally raped by her own brother, she received help at the CAC. She writes, "Over years of bad memory and dealing with it myself, I've learned that he had no right to do that to me. I've learned that no matter how weak you seem, never give up the fight. Adrenaline can do wonderful things after all. And to anyone who can relate too closely to this, be strong, own yourself, and don't let anyone else. But don't forget that it's okay to break down or need to lean on someone for a moment to regain your lost strength and confidence. And if anyone blames it on you, they're wrong and are only building up bad karma for themselves. I'm doing much better in dealing with it and the stress it caused. I can speak freely about how terrible of a person he is and know that people will agree and support me when I go against him. I have such an amazing and caring friendship circle that I know I can go to when I need to. I hope to be able to move on from this, help the companies who make PSAs get more accurate information, and become a teacher. My students know that they can trust and who can help them." She ends with, "Stay strong. Asking for help when you need it isn't showing weakness." What a powerful and incredible statement. So another one of our survivors that you heard from earlier wrote a song and wants to share it with you all today. And so we will hear a special song from her right now.
Grooves on the track.
Yelling, name calling, the resentment I had towards you really made me someone I never met before. Personality, heart changes smooth. I used to be a lover, now I don't really give a. Let all my pain transform my heart. The depths of my soul, I had lost all control and let it poison my love. I apologize to myself for breaking my own heart. Reality, heart changes. Reality, heart changes. I apologize to myself for breaking my own heart. Reality might change. When I met you, you were someone else, full of happiness, full of dreams that I let shatter. Now I'm doing better. Now I'm really healing. I learned from my experience. I renewed my mind after changes. I apologize to myself for breaking my own heart. Reality, heart changes. I apologize to myself for breaking my own heart. Reality might change, so I gotta tell myself I apologize, and I believe in myself. I'm so sorry for giving in to failure. I apologize for disliking myself. I'm so sorry for not being the awesome one I know I am. For not loving myself the way I know I should. For letting someone else define me. I'm so sorry.
What an incredible, moving tribute to empowerment and getting just everything that you can out of life and not being held back and held down. And we're so incredibly proud of her and everything that she's been able to accomplish. So right now, what we're going to do is give you a little update on where we're at. We're almost at about $24,000 raised. We're hoping to raise $100,000 this week. So we have until Monday for all of these things to come together. So we need your help because we're trying to make a difference in the $300,000 that our agency has lost due to funding decreases and COVID. So we're so incredibly inspired that by this evening, we've already made about a quarter of our goal. So our event closes on Monday, December 14th at 4 p.m. So if you are bidding on an item, check back often and certainly do not be outbid. Don't let that happen. Also, please share with your contacts and ask them to donate as well. I want you to think about and honor the kids who are safe in your life by giving to those who are not. And unfortunately, as we know, so many in our community are not safe tonight, and they're sheltering in place with their abusers. And when we think about 1 in 4 women being a victim of domestic violence in their lifetime, and 1 in 4 kids being in an abusive relationship before they leave high school, 1 in 4 females being a victim of sexual assault before they reach 18, and 1 in 6 boys being a victim as well. This is overwhelming. It's an incredible epidemic, and your help is so incredibly important for us. I want to take a second and thank our incredible sponsors, and it will take me a minute because we have some great ones. So we have Designetics, Focus CFO, Heidelberg, Dr. Jonna McCrory, Local 45, Kappa Delta, Drill Machine, Exchange Club, NOF Greater Maumee, Portage Resale Center of Ottawa County, Women in the Wind, Lucas County Sheriff's Office, the Trust, the Andersons Foundation, Deborah and John Jocelyn, Lou Ann Croy, Renee Gabal, the Goodwins, Sydney Spraw, Mohammed and Susan El Shafi, Lauren Zahner, basket donors, participants, our honorary staff member, Ms. Sasha Bray, my good friend and absolute colleague for the past decade, helping us to do this. And I want to take one more second and just thank all of our staff members here at the Family and Child Abuse Prevention Center. The work that we do here is so hard day in and day out, and it takes a lot. And it takes a huge toll on everyone. And that's why we practice a lot of self-care here. You can't hear the incredible stories that we hear day in and day out and not be impacted. And so we have such an incredible staff here. And I'm just so thankful for them every day at the CAC, in domestic violence services, long-term services, child abuse prevention program, children who witness violence, veteran intervention program. There's just so much greatness going on here and reaching out and changing lives. And we hear it all the time. And I love the fact that we are in all of Toledo public, parochial, Christian charter schools, just about every single one of them in this area, teaching kids what's a safe and unsafe touch, who is someone you can tell if you're being abused, because it's so incredibly important. And we know that our prevention programs work because they come to the CAC and they say that they told because they saw our programs. And you can't get a better promo than that right there, that we are actually changing lives. And we're also working with the adults in our community and knowing that the onus is on all of us to keep children safe. I think for a number of years, we thought that we need to keep children away from stranger danger. But as we know, in over 90% of the cases, it's someone we know and trust who is abusing the children. And so it's incredibly important that as parents, if we have a child who is taking drum lessons in a basement and we're not allowed to go down there and watch that, that's a problem. So the onus is on all of us to protect our children. And if you don't feel safe and if you need help, please reach out to us, because we have a program for every member of the family. And our intent and focus is to really stop the cycle of abuse. So I want to thank you all so much for joining us. We appreciate your generous support. I want you to take a few minutes here at the end and check out the auction items, make a donation if you're able. And I just want to thank you so much for keeping this in the forefront of your thoughts, not just at Christmas time, during the holidays, but throughout the entire year, because it's so incredibly important that we keep every home a safe home. Good night, stay safe, and happy holidays. Thank you all so much.
We believe that society has the power to prevent family violence.
By working together to prevent violence today,
we can build stronger families for tomorrow.
To do that,
we need you.
We need you.
We need you.
We need you.
To do that, we need you.